Thank you, Denny. So they can hear me clearly. Denny, will I assume we're sounding good? Righto. It's good to see you all once again. This is our 5th session for these Zoom meetings for the SRC group, and we hope you're enjoying them. It's great to be able to at least do something associated with the surf club. So we hope you're enjoying being involved and maybe getting out doing some exercise, because once we can get back into the club and do our training, hopefully you'll be fit enough to do all the things you have to do in the assessment, like the run, swim, run. Maybe you can remember you've got to do 100 meters on the beach, 100 meters in the water, swimming, and then 100 meters back on the beach. And if anyone's not done their prerequisite swim, which is 200 meters in under 5 minutes in a pool, you'll have to have done that as well. So try and keep your fitness up for the more athletic components of the course. Excuse me. Right. Well, we hope you've been doing the online things, because eventually you'll have to come up with a certificate like this. I'll just hold it there if Ben can put a little shot on that. Now, when you do all of the online component of your SRC course, then an option will come up to get a certificate, and it will look like this. Of course, you can see I'll pass my SRC course, fortunately, with a bit of help from Denny. And that's one of the things that you'll have to have for the assessment, which will happen naturally down the track.
So in the communication from last week, there was an instruction on how to do that. And once you've completed it, download the certificate and then send it to the office. And I've already seen a couple of those come through already. So good work, everyone.
Right. So obviously some people are well on top of the online stuff. Great to see. We'll talk a bit more about other things that will be sent to you, because as you know, we're going to have a little break. We were going to do just 4 of these sessions. Now we've done 5. So we're going to have a break before we get back in touch with you. And again, as we've said all along, it all comes down to when the restrictions change so that we can start getting back into the club. So we've just got to put things on hold a little for a time. We will give you some tasks to do, but while we're having a break. So we're not forgetting about you completely. There'll be some things which we hope you will do associated with the assessment. And then we'll come back to you at some stage. Denny will be in touch to let you know that we'll be coming back in touch as we start to know sort of when we can get back into the surf club. And then we can make some plans about doing our training here, which I'm sure you'll all want to do. Right, so this is how tonight is shaping up. Rescue Skills Part 1. I hope that you looked through the self-paced learning. I think it was number 6 from memory, where you looked at some rescue skills. Signals are important in rescues. Principles of a rescue. The 2 pieces of equipment that you will typically use are tubes and boards. It is possible to do them without equipment. However, we warn against it unless you're a pretty strong swimmer and you know your own limitations. We'll talk a lot more about this coming up soon. But typically you'll only do it if you really have to, but providing you know it's safe to do so, a rescue without any equipment. Carries and drags is something that, because of the COVID restrictions, we can't practice them. So you might just have to look at a few photos for that. Post-rescue operations, what we do after a rescue, we might sit around and have a chat and realise, oh, why didn't I do this? You know, when you've always done something, you think back on it and think, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done this differently. And there's always, it's always good to have a chat about things afterwards. And yes, usually everyone realises, oh yeah, we could have done a few things better. So post-rescue operations, that's what that is. You're not rescuing posts, it's post-rescue operations. And then how to prepare for the next session. We'll tell you about what's going to happen coming up. But the first thing, signals. I'd like to test you on the signals. So Ben's going to go back a little bit so that we can get a shot. And well, do we want to do it the hard way or the easy way, Denny? Will I just say a signal and we'll get them doing it? What? I'm going to throw this one to Ben. Ben, do you think we should do it the hard way? I just say a signal and they've got to do it? Right, you can come back in then. I'm not going to do the signal. Ben's a tough sort of guy, isn't he? Well, that's what got him to where he is, champion lifesaver. So therefore, I'm going to just say the signal, and Denny's watching you all. and he's going to sort of give you some feedback. Are you right there, Denny? Denny's good. Okay. First thing, we usually do this one first, bit of a warm-up. Attract attention. Just step back from your computer so Denny can see your body and your arms. Attract attention. Ooh.
So, Otis, 2 hands for beginners, mate. That's it. Attracting attention. So, Gerard, give us a demonstration.
Righto. So it's 2 big arms above your head. Nice and big, because remember, on the beach, you could be a long way from someone who you want to see your signal. Sometimes you might even hold the flags in your hands and do these signals. Yeah. But without the flags, it's just big arms, something very obvious. Okay, that was easy. Okay, what if you want someone to go to your left? Typically, you're on the shore, they are in the water. Maybe they're in the process of performing a rescue, and you've got to tell them exactly where the person in the water is that's in distress. So what if you want to tell that person, your mate that's doing the rescue, go to the left or move to the left? What's your signal?
Yeah, almost everybody's got all right. Jane, no swinging of the arm, mate. And Ziggy, no cereal.
Right, so.
Not cereal.
Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. To the left or to the right, it's just one hand. So I won't do the other one, but one very obvious arm straight out from your body. Okay, what if I want the person in the water to go further out to sea? What's your signal?
100% across the board. Good work, guys.
Well done. The 2 hands up, it's like you're telling them, go further away. 2 hands up. What if you want them to remain stationary, not to move anywhere?
%, again. I'm guessing you guys are looking at everybody else.
There can't be that. You won't be able to look at everyone when we assess you, because you know you'll be in a line and you won't be able to see the person behind you that's doing these signals, and you won't even be able to look in the reflection in the window because it'll be too light. You can only do that at night. That's the little trainer's trick that we see them doing. So you better learn these properly. So remain stationary, we're up to, and we all got that one, I think. Is that right, Denny? We all got it. Okay, what about return to shore or come closer to the shore? Return to shore.
Really good, guys. Everyone's 100% again.
Very good. Doesn't matter which arm, but just one arm straight up like that. And what about a pickup swimmer to the right? Pickup swimmer to the right.
William, yeah, I can see it. Good work, everyone.
Rightio. So we've got the right direction. I hope that's the right one for you. And a bit of a wiggle of the arm up the top. Now, you could even be doing your roving patrol on the beach and you see the IRB or one of your friends even perhaps on a surfboard out there in the water, and you notice a distressed swimmer. You might simply get their attention, attract attention, and then give them your signal. This alerts them to the fact that there is a swimmer that needs to be picked up. So you can control even the IRB. You've got a radio contact with the IRB, you can speak to it, you know its call sign. Or you can just do the signal, get their attention, pick up swimmer, and there you go. You've just done a rescue more or less from just standing on the spot because you've told the IRB where to go or someone on a board. Well done. Pick up swimmer. Okay, here's one that we use occasionally, particularly when we're setting up some markers in the water. I might do this when we set the markers for you to do your run, swim, run, but they're not in the right place. So we'll say, pick up and adjust buoys.
Good work, everyone. You nailed it.
Yeah, I call it butterfly one. So it's 45 degrees up and down. Pick up and adjust buoys. Pick them up. Yeah, good. Okay, message understood.
Yeah, we had a couple of people do the okay, all clear signal, and then they corrected it to the hand down.
And they corrected it.
They corrected it.
Good sign that they're correcting things. Yeah, so it's hand up and then snap it down, or sometimes I'd say do this, but otherwise snap it down like that. So that's message understood. Okay. Different situation when you're in the water. If you're in the water and you put both hands out like this, I've given you the easy one. Pick someone, Denny. What that means if you're in the water and you put both hands out like that. Oh, I think I've gone back a year to the old one. I have, haven't I?
We don't use that signal anymore.
Does anyone know it, by the way, what that means?
Search completed.
Oh, top of the class. Teacher's pet, well done.
Was that you, Miller? You got that one?
Yeah.
Good work.
I'm lucky.
Very well done, Miller. Me as a trainer just sort of pluck something out of my head as I sometimes do, and that was something from the old course. So we don't use that so much. Okay, one of the obvious ones, assistance required. Here we go.
Assistance required. Not everybody's there yet. Zoe was a little late. All good, everyone.
Good, assistance required. Now I've said this is what we're doing in the water because you may have just clipped someone up to the rescue tube and you're about to swim in. And so you're just signaling to the person on the shore, I could need some help with this one. In any case, we do it whenever we do a rescue, board or tube, assistance required before we start coming in. Or if we do it and we don't come in, we're saying, I don't think I'm safe to go back through the surf with this patient. I need some help with someone else to come out for me. So assistance required, you can do it from the water, but you know, it actually works on the beach as well. You might be a long way up, your radio's conked out, it's not working. Well, that will still work on the beach, but typically it's on the water that we do assistance required. Sorry, I've got to look at my little notes here. Okay. Submerged patient, last seen in this location. Tough one, this. We're talking search and rescue. Somebody, perhaps you went out looking for a swimmer, you saw them as you're swimming out, but then they've gone. Submerged patient.
Go on, Ziggy. Good work. Imogen. Excellent. Good work, everyone.
So they got that one, Denny. They're getting good. And one or two last ones. If you're in the water and you hold two arms up, I've done it in reverse again, haven't I?
Emergency evacuation alarm.
Right.
Top of the class.
I made that easy for you. Yeah. Two arms up when you're in the water. Typically, you'll be on a board. You're telling evacuate the beach. You've got to be careful with this stuff. If you start doing that while you're out there on a board, you might find that the alarm starts going off and everyone starts clearing the water right up and down the beach. You can't take this stuff lightly. You've got to be very careful with your signals. Don't muck around. Okay, the last one, if you're in the IRB and you want to return to shore, this is a bit of a tough one because you won't be in the IRB till you perhaps get your bronze. Anyone know the IRB wishes to return to shore?
Everyone's got it.
I've got it.
I'm sure, I think Otis is doing it backwards and out the door.
Tell me, Denny, was it their right arm?
It was right enough for me.
Their other right arm. Okay, it should be your right arm because that's the one sticking outside the boat. A lot easier to see from the shore. Okay, well done, everyone. Okay, back to your seats, if you would, if you've moved away. And we're going to go on to the next thing, principles of rescue. Oh, there's all the things. Here you can see, I've shown you this before, of course, but I might as well mention it again. Good work there from Ben. The girl is controlling the person on the board with signals. And again, I say that because, especially when you do your board rescue, this is probably what's going to happen. The assessor will stand on the shore And because of COVID restrictions, we probably won't be able to put someone else on the board with you. The assessor will just tell you, go out and follow my signals. And the assessor is going to tell you, there'll be probably 5, maybe 10 of you out in one group. Paddle to the right, paddle to the left, further out to sea, towards the shore. You've got to be watching the assessor constantly, and you've got to follow their signals. So that's something that will happen in the assessment. Well, right. Principles of rescue. Well, imagine we're on our roving patrol and we know there are certain hazards in the area. Remember, the safest place is between the flags. That's why we put them there. But when you go on your rove up and down the beach, there are rips. Remember, the lifeguards usually put a sign where there is a rip. Strong, what does it say? Strong currents. What color is it? I'm trying to test their memory. Can you remember the sign that where there is a rip and what it says?
So, Aurora, do you know what that sign might say?
Dangerous currents.
Perfect.
Exactly. And what color is it?
Yellow.
Yellow.
And the writing is?
Red.
Black.
Right, it's good some of you do pay attention to these signs. They become more important to you as you become a lifesaver, these signs, because you're looking at them. You might also be looking at the swimmers. Remember, the reason why we're here, the reason why this surf club is here, is because we are here to watch the swimmers when they go for a swim on the weekends. And that's the basis for surf clubs. So keep that in mind. When you're going for a swim, when you're out in the water, when you're on the beach, when you're signed onto patrol, you have a job to do now of watching the swimmers. So you're watching them and things might get a little difficult. Denny, were you going to play a video or something, do you think? We might see if Denny can use some of his IT magic and play you one of the great videos from the training manual. So we can have a look at some of the principles of rescue. And I like to use these videos because they're very well done. And they can just say so much in a couple of pictures, you know, rather than me talk all the time. Denny looks like he's good. What's the first one we're looking at there, Den?
We're going to do a tube rescue first.
Tube rescue, okay. So we'll start with an easy one. Patient conscious or unconscious?
It is a conscious patient.
Okay, these are one of the easier ones. Tube rescue with a conscious patient. Just a quick question. Are you going to do a tube rescue way out the back beyond the waves, or are you going to do it closer into shore? Who wants to have a stab? Where would you
Closer into shore.
Oh, I thought I'd have them with that one, Denny. Closer into shore. Well done.
So can anybody tell me a situation where you would do a tube rescue and it's out the back?
If there was no other boards nearby.
Yep, that's a good one. What's another reason we do a tube rescue out the back?
If it's like a sandbank there.
Sandbank, yep, that's a good idea.
What about if it's too big to get out onto a board, but it's easier to swim?
Perfect. So if you've got some 3-metre shore dumpers coming in, you're going to be able to swim under those a lot easier than you are going to be able to pop over them on a board.
Yeah, good answers there. I'm pleasantly surprised. Righto, Denny, play the video there and let us know if they can all see.
Have I lost audio or?
No, I think Denny's still, there's no sound, maybe.
There's no sound on these. Or if there is, it's not working.
Well, you can give a commentary, or do you want me to, Den?
Okay, no, then, okay, they're not seeing it. Okay, yeah. Give me a second.
Right, yeah, we'll just have Denny work on that a little bit to see if we can get it up on your screens. He's a wizard. Well done, Denny. Okay, see she's waiting, dragging the tube behind. Now she's doing this without fins. You're welcome to use them if you want to use fins or flippers. Bit of dolphin diving there. Now look, she stops before she reaches the patient and passes the tube to her. Now if that patient's panicking, they might grab hold of you. Something we don't want to happen. So she stopped short of the patient, handed the tube. Now she reassures the patient, gives them some instructions, and without an assistance required signal, she starts swimming to shore. Okay, now she's just looking after her patient. Here comes a wave. She's going to shield the patient a little and help them all the way up to the shore. And that patient is your concern right up until the time they're back on shore and they're fine. They might want
to go to an unconscious patient to rescue.
I think we might try one a bit harder, Denny. Let's see if we can try an unconscious one. So these are in your training manual, by the way, if in the rescues chapter. Okay, look at this. Somebody face down. Assume unconscious. Right, now, what does she do first? A roll to get their face out of the water. If their face is underwater and their brain still tells them to start breathing, they could take in a whole lot of water in their lungs. Roll them over, the first thing. Right, there's the signal we were looking for. Assistance required because she's got an unconscious patient and she's going to need a lot of help once they reach the shore. No point giving the patient any instructions. They're unconscious, they can't hear you. Now she's going to, will she shield the patient from the waves? Again, you don't want any water in that mouth. Yep, shield, whoosh. You get water in the mouth, could go down the lungs and cause all sorts of problems in their lungs. Another shield, well done. By now, the other members of the patrol should be with that girl and helping them. So once they get up to the, Denny, once they get up to the shore then, with that unconscious patient, what are they going to do? Do you remember something we've been doing last week with our cushions? What are they going to do once they get that patient up to the shore?
Doctor's ABC.
One more letter.
D.
What?
D.
I had to do that. Sorry, well done. Doctor's ABCD, well done. So with your unconscious patient, that's what they're going to do. While you're on fire, you guys, where are they going to do it? As far as the beach is concerned, where? Do you do it right inshore where the wave's going to hit you?
No, you do
You
it.
do it out at the drain.
They do it like
Like,
further up the
on
beach.
the
Like, yeah.
Okay, we can get more detail here. Come on, I'm going to push you guys.
Where there's no danger around the patient or to yourself.
Good, good. Yeah, that's good. But there is a bit of a mark. What do we call it? The hot. There's usually a lot of debris around a part of the beach up to one level, and then it stops. So we call
Like
that.
a high tide mark or something.
Hey, we have some great lifesavers at this club. The high tide mark or the high water mark. So you see a little bit of, or you can see a lot of debris sometimes. It runs up to the beach to a certain level, and after that it stops. So that's your high tide mark. Righto, Denny?
So I just want to go back to the video at the start of the video as we go through. And you've got the lifesaver here on the beach. I'll just pause it there where she goes to pick up the tube. So what things should the lifesaver be doing at this point? Can somebody give me some suggestions?
Radioing and saying you're doing a rescue.
Radio. Okay, so that's the second part of Doctor's ABCD. What's the first part?
Check for danger.
Check for danger, absolutely. So if it's me and I'm unfit and I don't do a lot of swimming, should I be going out in 2 metre swell?
No. No.
No. So I've got to check for danger to myself. Okay. Now, if they're in the shore break and in the dumpers and it's dangerous to me, should I assess that as well?
Yes.
Yes. So what's an alternative there? If it's too dangerous to me because I'm unfit and I'm not a great swimmer, what other things could I do?
Get help.
Send for help.
Board, I think.
Or get a board or something like that. But the primary part of this is that this part of the rescue, you've got to go through your DRS, which is check for danger to yourself and to the patient and the members of the public. And then you've got to send for help. Okay? So back to you.
Yeah, very important, Denny. I'm gonna quiz you on that in a moment, actually. So tube and board rescues, cover that. Rescues without equipment. Now we won't, it's actually got some good pictures, but I'll just mention it briefly, what you can do. And I say it because you might find yourself somewhere outside the surf club and you just think, oh, I've just got to help this kid in a river or something, and you can do that. So the first one is a wrist tow, and I'll try and do it. We'll get Denny here, he'll be my patient. And do you know, they used to have, when I started doing, you know, Royal Lifesaving stuff, there was a rescue where you just grab their hair and instead of grabbing their wrist, you just grab their hair and you paddle sideways. I can't do that now in any case. So that's why they got rid of that rescue. So imagine Denny is on his back in the water and he's gonna put his hand out because he's exhausted, and I'm gonna grab his wrist, as simple as that. And because it's stretched out like that and he's floating on his back, I can paddle him in with side stroke. My legs will be kicking just under his body. He'll be floating on the surface of the water. And so it will look a bit more streamlined as Denny is flat on his back and I'm stretching out to do my side stroke, but that's the wrist tow. But sometimes the patient might need a bit more help. So Denny, if you go just side onto the camera like that. The other one is the hip carry, where I get my hip in under his back and I can push him up out of the water because he might be having trouble. So his hand will just be like that and I can bring him in again with side stroke, but using my hip to get him up a bit higher. The other version of this one is to go under the arm and hold the chin. Remember how we had our pistol grip? Unconscious patient, we might hold their chin up out of the water to make sure that they don't get any water in their mouth. So there's a few variations there on the hip carry. So one arm under that one or another arm under there, and you can side stroke in. And the other one, what was that first one I mentioned? What was the first rescue I mentioned with the, you grab their, what was it?
Wrist.
Well done, wrist. Righto, Denny, safely to shore. So they're the unaided ones. Again, sorry, we can't do much more than a simple demonstration here in the club, but the wrist tow and the hip carry with different grips, depending on if you want to give them the pistol grip to keep their chin way up out of the water. Okay, and again, that's only a last resort. Could be you don't have any other equipment. You've used up whatever equipment you have, and so you've got to resort to an unaided rescue. Okay, carries and drags. Now, here's the carry of a patient. And although this girl looks alive and well, this is what we do for an unconscious patient. See how they've got her under the armpits, and this girl has the legs. Really strong grip around the legs. You've got to get in close to the patient because they're just a dead weight in this case. So that's the unconscious one. It's a two-person carry called the trunk and legs carry. You can see that, can't you? One girl's got the trunk, which is the body of the girl. And the other girl has the legs. So trunk and legs for an unconscious patient. The other one is for a conscious patient, and we don't have a picture for that. So it's going to be interesting. Just go back out if you would a little bit, Ben. And I might use the mannequin for this one. Imagine my buddy on patrol is here with me. We'll put our arms around each other and we'll link our arms underneath, and the patient will sit under our linked arms. So this is a conscious patient, and typically it's someone that's maybe hurt their lower leg, something like that. So they don't have to walk. They can put their arms around you and hold on tight as you chair them. So this is the armchair carry, and you take them up the beach like that. Conscious patient and perhaps a lower leg injury, something like that. Now this one's interesting, a drag. Do we have these things at Wanda Surf Club? Look at these outfits they're wearing. Does anyone see any of these big long wetsuits at Wanda?
Hell no.
Well, that's one way to put it. No, these people are up in Queensland or Darwin. The reason is there's lots of stingers. They have to check the beach. They have to do checks of the beach with their nets and count how many stingers they get in the net. And if there's more than too many, they have certain numbers. If there's more than a certain number of stingers, in their net, once they do their drag of the beach is closed. Too many stingers. These lifesavers have stinger suits, special suits that protect them from the stings. Geez, I'm having trouble. So that's why they're like that. Now this person is putting vinegar on the sting so that they don't get stung themselves, because the tentacles often stay on the person's body. They are dragging the patient. Doesn't look real good. You know, who drags a person around? Well, you've got to do it if they've got a lot of stingers on them. Now, Ben tells me he's been stung all over by blue bottles. Did you get the stinger drag, Ben, or were you still walking?
Yeah.
Oh, he's tough, isn't he, this Ben character? Stingers all over him, blue bottles, and he just walks up off the beach.
He was sweating a little.
But if he collapsed and no one wanted to touch him, but we wanted to treat him, we might use the stinger drag, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so drags and carries we probably won't do, only because of the COVID thing. When you do your bronze next season, hopefully you can do all this stuff normally. Post-rescue operations, we have a bit of a chat and think, oh yeah, I could have done that better, I could have done this better. Everyone's feeling good? Of course. And away we go. Okay, I've got some questions. The sign of a distressed and the signs of a drowning swimmer. Start to think of yourself now as being on duty, on patrol, and you're doing your roving patrol. You're watching the water. Actually, we might start off with the scanning question. Now, this should have been in, I think, lesson 6 or something, part of the self-paced learning. I can't remember that. I'm going to throw it to Denny. Name some of the different types of scanning. We'll see who's been doing their online learning.
Okay, let's go with Eliza. Eliza, can you give me a version of scanning?
I don't remember them.
Oh,
Okay, let's go to Kyle.
Horizontal, vertical, and grouping.
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
very good. There's a few others. Any else?
Is spotting one of them?
Very good. Yeah, you
Head
pick one
counting.
person who you think might be in trouble and you follow them.
What was that last one?
Head counting.
Head counting.
I think we've got them all. Well done. Okay, now we're so good at scanning, we're going to try and spot people One of them's distressed, one of them's drowning. Do you know the signs are different? So, Denny, see what they know about this. Are you going to go to a video?
I've got the video.
Oh, okay. Thinking cap's on, to use the old teacher expression. Denny is going to show you the video, one of a distressed swimmer and one of a drowning swimmer. It is different. Distressed, I'll let you watch the video.
So watching this first video, what can we see?
Is this one the distressed one? Or the drowning one?
This is the distress one.
Alright.
Puffed out cheeks, trying to get breath.
The next one's very obvious.
Okay, you see the arm go down under the water and their head pop down a little bit. So what you're looking for is, do you see somebody who's comfortable in the water there?
No.
Yeah, kinda. They're just making it hard for themselves.
Well, you've got to remember that not everybody grew up at the beach and is a great swimmer,
Still,
right?
yeah.
We'll send you some videos of what it looks like when somebody's drowning, because everybody expects it to be a big event.
Yeah.
Drowning's silent. So the first thing your body does when it goes into the water is your esophagus tightens up to keep the water out of your lungs. When your esophagus tightens up, you can't make any sound. So drowning is silent. And what you'll see is somebody climbing, they call it climbing the ladder. Right?
What does that mean?
I'm going to step back from the video. So can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to step back from my thing a little bit, from my computer a little bit, and I'll show you what climbing the ladder is.
Where is he?
Me? Oh.
So it's a basic human reaction is to try and climb out of the water. And I won't be making any sound, and all I'll be trying to do is pull myself up out of the water. And that's why they call it climbing the ladder.
How does
Okay?
your body know when you're in the water? Like the thingamabobby closes up. How does it like know?
It's an interesting question. We have reflexes, especially if the water goes above our nose.
So that's a good one for you guys to look up, is look up the dive reflex.
Yeah.
So when your face goes in the water, your heart rate slows and your breathing slows. And we'll actually talk about that when we start training again. So you guys have done a lot of running and then going into the beach. So if you do a big run and hop in the water and start swimming, it's really hard to get your breathing going again, isn't it? Because you're fighting against that that dive reflex. Okay, we're going to move to the next video, and I might do a quick Google search on silent drowning. Okay, so give me a second. So this guy, he's a lot of distress, isn't he? Head's going below the water. Hands up. Gets a little breath and goes back down under. Now this is in pretty smooth water. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to do a quick Google search on climbing the ladder and silent.
Might get an ad from Bunnings, Denny, climbing the ladder.
Doesn't look like anything we should be watching. Yes, here we go. Okay. You're looking for whoever is drowning in this video. Tell me when you can see it. Did everybody see that?
Yeah. Guy jump in.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is look at that place again. We'll replay the video.
Mine's like really glitchy, so I can barely see it.
Okay.
Hey, mine's
I'll
like
send this link out. Right,
Yeah,
I'm
mine
waving
like
the
goes-
mouse over.
Oh yeah.
How do you even drown in a pool?
Oh, he jumped in after him.
That's it. One more time.
Is it a kid?
Yeah, it's a kid at a public pool.
Oh, isn't that like a wave pool or something?
Yep. Okay, so this is actually a whole channel which is worth a look at. Wave pool lifeguard rescue. So if you go to another country where the bulk of the people don't live near the coast, they have a lot of wave pools, and they will be surrounded by lifeguards, and the lifeguards will be jumping in all the time because they see this stuff all the time. You guys are lucky that you've been brought up learning how to swim, and at the beach, not everybody's as lucky as you. Okay?
Thank you, Denny. Well, isn't there a lot to learn about being a lifesaver? I wonder if you could spot somebody and work out, is it just the person who's okay, but they're just, you know, letting themselves come up to here underwater, or are they really in trouble? Sometimes it's only the expression on their face that tells you something. Other times you've got to use what Denny has just shown you in your training. So a drowning swimmer can be completely silent. Once that they start getting some water in there, remember Denny said it tightens their vocal cords. That just not only means they can't say or yell out or say anything, it means they can get less air in. The vocal cords tighten up and it restricts their airway. So they're going to have a real problem. A drowning swimmer can be quiet. Distressed swimmer, you're likely to see some action, you know, help me, stuff like this. Different types of scanning we got. Okay, we're going to go backtracking a little. Based on your duty of care, what are the main considerations you make when planning a rescue? Maybe I'll bring in my little board here. So Ben, if you can just imagine yourself at the beach. Remember the 4 things we've got here, or the 4 call signs. We've got Wanda Patrol, I'll say them, Wanda IRB, Wanda Roving North or South, and Wanda Tower. Now, I mention them because we're going to start looking at some scenarios. I've marked here the distance up to about track 8. Again, here might be a new term for you. There are tracks that lead down to the beach from the car parks and the like, and each track has a number. There's that big coloured sign, I think it's blue, red, and a few other colours, and it tells you which number the track is. Now, at Wanda Beach, typically we go up to track 8 up to the north and track 15 down to the south. After that, that's Allura's turf or beach after 15. So here we are at our beach, and we've got 4 call signs: Wanda Patrol, Wanda IRB, Wanda Roving North or South, and Wanda Tower. Just say we're up here. So we're nearly 200 meters away from our patrol, and we see, I'll get the texter out, that old distressed swimmer. We've watched Denny's videos. Actually, we might make it a drowning swimmer. We've watched Denny's video and we've identified someone up here. Denny, could you ask a few questions then, our considerations?
So what are the first things that we need to consider when we're having a problem out there?
No, before we do our rescue.
Our safety.
Safety.
Number 1, our limitations.
Good
Yep.
work, Aurora.
If there's like any danger to like anyone around.
That's all? Okay, you can throw it back to me if you want.
Wait, would we also have to send for help?
Oh, okay, now we're starting to talk. Have a look at this word, planning a rescue. I don't think anyone caught that word that I used, planning a rescue. Okay, come back to me and Ben, and I'm going to put our drowning person back up here. And if you notice those 2 videos we showed you, I don't know why, but that person was on their own. Now, I'm a patrol captain. I wouldn't send a single person up to do a roving patrol. I always send 2. So we've got 2 people in their roving patrol and they see the drowning swimmer. Now, let's start thinking about planning what we're going to do. Remember this thing? Yeah, there's the rip. Maybe that's how they got out there. There's the IRB. We see a drowning swimmer. Ooh, how far out is this one? Have a look at the scale. Well, they're over 100.
150.
Yeah, good guess. They're nearly 150 meters offshore. There's the IRB, there's the rip. Okay, somebody give me an idea of how you would manage this situation. If they're over 100 meters out, you have a tube, a radio, and a mini first aid kit. Somebody,
Get the
how are you
IRB.
going to?
Radio, the IRB, or jet ski.
Oh, they go straight to the top, don't they? They've seen Denny on the jet ski and they've said, here you go, come over. And what if your radio was broken? I mentioned this earlier in the lesson. What if the radio is broken? What would you do towards
You
the
can
IRB?
use your signals.
Signals.
What signals? What are the 2 you'd use? First?
Assistant.
Pick up
Pick up
to
person-
left or right.
Okay, but first you may have to say attract attention.
Yeah.
Then you would do your pick up the swimmers to the right.
So what's something else that you might be carrying that you could use to attract attention? So,
Denny, you're on.
Sorry, am I
Yeah,
on?
Denny, we can't really hear you.
Okay, give me a second. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's something else we might be carrying that we could use to attract attention? Say the IRB is 150 metres out to sea, and then you're happy lights out there and doing donuts. How can you attract their attention if they can't see your signals? What else could you do?
Flag, radio.
Whistle.
Flag, radio, whistle. Good. That was the other one I was looking for.
We'll get like a megaphone or something.
Megaphone, yeah,
So
that works.
Okay, but you've also got the option of radioing your patrol captain, which you will do. Okay, I'm impressed, but I'm going to make it harder. Okay, and this is one I think was in one of the books. We might use another colour for this little one. This is a little baby. Well, not quite a baby. Let's just say it's a kid. Here you are, there's 2 of you on your roving patrol. Here's a distressed swimmer, and here's someone that's not too distressed, but they're just a young person. You've got 1 rescue tube, a radio, and a mini first aid kit. Now things are different, aren't they? Somebody think about what you're going to do now. You have 2 swimmers in the water. One, this red one is in more trouble than this one. What's your plan?
The tube goes to the adult, and then you send for help for the baby and the adult, and then the other person swims out to get the baby.
Did you say who had the tube?
Would you send the
The guy who
The
goes to the
adult
adult.
gets the tube. The adult gets the
adult gets
tube
the
and the
tube.
baby gets carried.
Ah, very good. Yeah, the little person is probably easier to manage, and plus they're closer to shore. Do you work out who's the strongest swimmer between the 2 of you? Does that have any effect on this thing?
Yeah.
The strongest swimmer goes to the adult because it's further out. He or
Yep.
she.
Plus, it's a heavier weight to help once you get there, isn't it? Okay, but what do you do before you do your rescue? Is there something that you do on the shore? Remember the pieces of equipment you have.
Send for help.
Radio,
Right.
tell you you're going out.
Right, so just think about that. Are you ever going to jump in the water and do a rescue before telling someone else?
No.
No.
Okay, so that's why we always send you in pairs to do a rescue. Typically, the first person would go and do the more difficult rescue, while the second person on the radio informs the patrol of what's going on. Right, now someone's going to now think up the message you would say to the patrol captain based on what we have just discussed. Remember the 4 Ps: position, people, problem, and progress. Somebody tell me your radio message. Pick someone, Denny.
Zoe Cole, let's hear it.
You would go, Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda Roving South, over.
Wanda Roving South, this is Wanda Patrol, go ahead.
I am 100 meters south of the flags, and there is 2 distressed swimmers 100 and 150 meters out. There is a young child and an older male, and a rescue with the tube is in progress for the older person, and we'll do a rescue without equipment for the younger child.
Over. That's very good. I am thoroughly impressed. So you could simply say, please send some assistance, or the patrol captain will say, and by the way, you would not leave until you heard message received from your patrol captain. You've got to make sure that they heard that before you go and do. Because if there's some interference with the radio and the message didn't get through, you find once again you're back to doing all this on your own. So make sure the patrol captain then says, Wanda Roving South, message received and understood, we will send some assistance, or something like that. Well done. That was well done by that person. Who was that? Who just gave that?
That was Zoe Cole, well done.
Righto, top of the class. Look out, Ben. I think Zoe Cole is after your job, mate. Well done. Okay. Well, let's try some other scenarios. Have you anything else to add, or will we just try some scenarios? Okay.
I don't have the scenarios.
So I sent this to you as an email, but it doesn't matter.
That's okay.
So you're trying to bring them up on the screen?
No, that's okay. We'll just go off the main one.
Okay, so they'll have to use the camera, will they, to see this?
Yeah, I'll see through the camera.
Okay, now remember this one. This could be a bit tricky. Look at this. You are in the Wanda Tower. Sometimes you get sent to the tower. And you see 3 swimmers in trouble, 200 meters south of the tower and 100 meters out to sea. Denny, can you pick someone who's going to make a suitable response to what they have seen from the tower?
Okay, hand up who wants to have a go at this one. I saw Zoe's hand move. Let's hear it, Zoe.
I don't know.
Okay, let's just think of call signs. Who are we going to tell, and what is our call sign? Remember what it says.
Wanda Tower, Wanda Tower.
Okay, now that's your call sign, but you've got to tell someone, because you can't do the rescue from the tower. So you've got to tell someone on patrol of this situation so that they can respond. So let's think about that. We're going to tell the patrol, think of their call sign, and then think of your call sign.
Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda Tower, over.
Great start, well done. Okay, and here comes the response. Wanda Tower, this is Wanda Patrol. Go ahead.
Wait, I can't really.
read it.
You can't read
Oh,
it?
wait. Okay. I'm
Thank you.
100 meters to sea, and there's a swimmer in trouble. No, that's not right.
Is that because you can't read it? It's a bit hard to read, is
I
it?
can't really read it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just give you a clue. The important details, there are 3 swimmers and they're 200 meters south of the tower and 100 meters out to sea. Righto, give us your radio report. Wanda Patrol?
Wanda Patrol. This is Wanda Tower, over.
Wanda Tower, this is Wanda Patrol. Go ahead.
There are 3 swimmers in trouble 200 meters south of the tower and 100 meters to sea.
Wanda Tower, thank you for your report. Please keep watching this scenario and inform us of any change. This is Wanda Patrol clear. Wanda IRB, this is Wanda Patrol. Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda IRB, go ahead. Wanda IRB, there are 3 swimmers in trouble 200 meters south of the tower and 100 meters out to sea. Could you please respond? Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda IRB, message understood and will comply. This is Wanda IRB clear. And Wanda Patrol will keep watching the situation, or sorry, keeping in touch with what's going on the radio, as will you, and we'll all follow what happens to see that these 3 people are helped by the IRB in this case. Well done. Okay, I hope you can see that. I'll read it out for you. Oh, 7 o'clock already, Denny. And we haven't done our CPR. But they're good.
Let's move to CPR and do some breakout rooms as well.
You want to do some breakout rooms and CPR? Right here.
Run them through the CPR.
Yep.
And then we'll do some breakout rooms and we'll hop into to check how they're going.
Okay. Rightio. I'll turn my hat around. Denny told me some idiot had their hat in the way. I've got a bad haircut. Having a bad haircut.
Hang on, it looks like Master Chief's joined the chat.
Who's Master Chief, Denny? Me?
It's a video game character.
Oh. Proceed? Or
go ahead, mate.
Righto. There. We might get up the DRS ABCD. I don't know if I've got it here in this. Here, assume we find somebody who's lying motionless on the ground and we know nothing about how it came to be. So we're going to make the primary assessment, as we call it. So DRS ABCD, we call this the primary assessment. It's the first way to assess the situation and somebody to work out what's gone wrong here. D for danger, check the area. It really impresses the assessors if you pretend to put your gloves on as you're doing this. Check for danger, all clear. If we've rescued them, we've taken them above the high tide mark and we're ready to check for R, response. COWS, moo. Remember cows. Can you hear me? Open your eyes. What's your name? And squeeze both my hands. S. Well, if we're on the beach, we're going to give them the 4 Ps. Find yourself calling an ambulance, they'll ask for similar information because they can't help you if they can't find you. So our 4 Ps, we have an unconscious male, we have an unresponsive male, let's just say 50 meters north of the flags, above the high tide mark, and we're about to check his airways and assess his breathing. DRS, we've sent for help. Airways, pistol grip, hand on the forehead. Have a look in the mouth, and it's simply looking for anything in their mouth that might prevent them from breathing normally. A for airway, this airway is clear. If it wasn't, we clear the airway, can scoop stuff out, and you can check the airway now while they're on the ground, like this, on their side. Airway is clear, so now it's time to check for breathing. We're better off doing this on their back. Remember, that's the focus, the chest. You're looking for the rise and fall of the chest, listening for the sound of their breath, and for trying to feel their breath on your cheek. If they were breathing, you can place them in the recovery position and then check them over for injuries. If they're not breathing, the next one straight into 2 breaths and then CPR. 2 rescue breaths. That's how you'll do it. And then find the center of the chest, 30 compressions, 27, 28, 29, 30, pistol grip, and away we go. And continue on like that. In your assessment, you'll do 5 cycles of breaths and compressions. You'll probably do it with 2 people. So one will be doing breaths, one will be doing compressions. A, B, C, D. While this is going on, you may find that somebody with the bronze medallion, or perhaps who is more highly trained with the Advanced Resuscitation Award, will come along and put the defib on. You continue what you're doing and they work around you. And the only time you stop is if the defib then tells you, do not touch the patient, analyzing and shock advised, is when you will all put your hands up to make sure you're clear of the patient. Okay. You're going to do it, of course, on your cushions. So you're going to have to get a bit inventive about how you do it. But imagine that's the head, or you might have Peppa Pig or a teddy bear. It's a little more realistic. And that's the chest, okay? Righto, Denny. I think they're probably good enough now to go to a room, and Denny will organise your breakout rooms now.
Okay, guys, get ready. I'll put you in the breakout rooms and we'll see how we go.
A breakout room's random.
Breakout rooms are very random.
I don't like them.
Bad. They're good.
I don't.
Martha just doesn't like them. 'cause
They're
she's
a bit
not
too random.
Okay, now I can talk. Hi, everybody.
cool. You look like a rubber.
What do you think I am then? A rubber. Bye-bye.
We're meant to be doing C. Oh, CPR. But I didn't even realize I wasn't here. Oh, yeah. I can't on my bed, so I can't.
Okay, who's going?
Eliza?
Wait, I can't. I don't have a place to go. Wait, this is really hard. I'll go on the floor. I really have nowhere else to go. Ow, I just made my... Hang on, I have nowhere to go. This is so hard. Wait, Miller, you start going because I have nowhere. Let me find somewhere to go.
Dad?
Right, I'll go. So you go danger to myself, bystanders, and the patient. And then you have your
Can we do it all together?
No, just do one at a time, thanks.
Okay.
Keep going, Jaden.
now you go with your cows, isn't it?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Open your eyes. What's your name? Squeeze my hand.
Perfect.
No response. You see if you can hear any.
Hang on. So you've gone for the
you
response.
Check airways.
No, you've missed a step. Danger, response. What's the S stand for?
Mm.
Miller, can you help?
Send for help.
Stand for help.
send for help.
Okay.
So then someone goes and sends for help. Now I go and I'm assessing the patient.
Yep.
I see if there's anything in its mouth. There is nothing. I open it. I open with the pistol grip.
Yep.
I see what's inside. There's nothing. I put my head next to its head, and then there's no breathing, and I can't see any rise in the chest.
Yep.
And then I go. And then I have CPR, isn't it?
Yep. So what's the first part of the
CPR?
CPR?
Breathe,
Two rescue breaths, yep.
And then 30 compressions.
Yep.
30, 2 rescue breaths.
Yep.
Someone comes over with the defibrillator. They're putting the pads on lungs and doing CPR.
Excellent.
Rescue breaths, and then it does
Good
its
work.
thing.
Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys. You guys keep on going, okay?
Okay, thank you, Denny.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Millie, you can go. All right. Check to danger.
We already did like the doctor's ABCD.
Okay, can I get one of you guys to show me?
Like CPR.
Yeah, start from the beginning. I want to see doctors ABCD.
Okay. Danger. So check
Yep.
danger. R's response, which is cows. Can you hear me? Open your eyes. What's your name? Squeeze my hand.
Yep.
S is send for help.
Yep. So what are you going to use for sending for help?
Your radio.
Yeah, and what are you going to communicate?
To
You're going to communicate to your patrol captain, but what things are you going to communicate?
the 4 P's.
Perfect. Okay. So you've sent for help. What's the next thing?
A, which is airways.
Checking the airway. Good, good. How do you do that?
The pistol grip.
Yep. And what are you looking for?
Anything blocking the airway.
Yep, good, good. What are you doing next?
Breathing.
Yeah, you're checking for breathing. So how are you going to check for breathing?
Look, listen. Yeah.
Feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So you've looked, listened, feel. The patient's not breathing. What are you going to do next?
CPR.
Yeah, you're going to commence CPR. So what's the first thing you do?
No compressions.
Two
breaths.
2 breaths. Yep. And then what are you going to do?
30 compressions.
Okay, show me your compressions. Yep. Okay, that's it. A little bit faster than that. Excellent. Okay, you've done 27, 28, 29, 30. What's next?
2 breaths again.
2 breaths again. Good work. Okay. Olivia, can you run through it again? I'm going to jump into another room, okay?
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
Come, your mum. I got my mannequin, Denny.
Don't tell me like that.
Yeah, ready? You just stay there, okay? I don't want you falling and cracking your head open. So, is there any danger? No. So, what's R again? Response. Can you hear me? What's your name?
Open your eyes.
No, can you hear me? Open your eyes. What's your name? Squeeze both my hands. Patient is unresponsive. Beep, bop, boop, beep, beep. This is Wanda roving north. We got a patient that is. we got a patient that is unresponsive, and yeah, we are 400 meters north from the tower. Over and out.
So you using Zinni as a patient doll.
Okay. I now begin CPR. I won't actually do it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, hold your head up. There we go.
Get up.
She's alive. Wait, no, we have to put the defib on you first. Yeah? Yeah? Can we put the defib on you?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
What? Okay. So I revived a patient successfully, and she is walking normally and talking normally. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Good girl. Okay. Done.
Hey guys, who wants to show me how it's done?
I'll go, Denny.
Okay, let's see it.
Okay, so first, we check if there's any danger around the patient. And
Yep.
it looks like we're all good at the moment. There's no danger. So then we go to check if the patient has any response. So we see if they're breathing on our ear, and we check their pulse, and no response. So
Okay, so with that one, we want to use the COWS acronym.
Oh yeah,
Can you hear
COWS.
me? Open your eyes. What's your name? Squeeze my hand.
Yes, yep. And then we've got send for help. So because we've got an unconscious and unresponsive patient, we contact the patrol tower saying, patrol tower, patrol, Wanda patrol. This is Wanda roving north. We're currently 200 meters north of the flags. We've got an unresponsive patient, and we are about to commence CPR.
Excellent. Good work, mate.
And then we've got airways. So
Yep.
we use the pistol grip. We hold the top of their forehead and check if there's anything. And if there's any seaweed or anything there, we just scrape it out.
Yep.
And then we've got breathing. So that's when we check if they like have a breath, like if we can feel their breath on our ear.
Yeah, so we want to look, listen, and feel.
Yeah, look, listen, feel.
Yep.
And then there's no breathing, so we commence CPR. First 2 rescue breaths.
Yep.
And then we do 30 compressions at about 100 like beats per minute.
Okay, so show me your compressions, mate. Show me the beat. Yeah, excellent. Good work. Okay, 30 compressions, and then what do you do?
And then 2 more rescue breaths until the defib comes.
Yep.
And then we put it diagonal, one at like near the top of the chest, and then near down their like right rib cage, and then do the defib.
Yep.
And then we after that we keep doing, if they're not like responsive still, we keep doing compressions and CPR until an ambulance or a paramedic comes.
Excellent. Good work, mate. Okay, I'm going to shut down the rooms and we'll all get back into the main room. Good work.
think he did CPR on a baby.
Wow.
How are we shaping up there, Tim?
So we're just waiting for everybody to exit the breakout rooms, and we should be good to go in about 30 seconds.
Okay. So you know the instructions you're going to give them for what's happening in the break? Okay. You go to me first, and then I'll throw to you.
Finish at 7:30.
Oh, we finish at 7.
So I saw you attacking your dog before. Like, leave him alone.
Go.
I thought we finished at 7 too, but
You
I think
want a dog
sometimes
and
we
you
go
attack
under
it?
his
You
own
want a
fault.
dog and you attack it? They call me abusive to my dogs.
No,
Your
my
dog
dad
bit
has
your
dogs
ear.
for my dog. What?
Your dog bit your own ear.
Mine.
Okay, guys,
Nuts.
we'll just wrap up. So I'm just going to throw to Gerard. He'll have a few things to say, and
My
then I'll tell you guys what's happening next.
Okay. So thank you very much, then, for your response. I am Matea, and she really warmed up and nailed a lot of those answers. So well done, Matea, and everyone else. Okay. Remember, some of these scenarios, they're the best way of testing you, because whenever you do a scenario, it kind of brings together everything that you learn in the SRC course. So thinking of yourself doing a roving patrol and finding that you have to rescue someone, it could be perhaps someone who's has drowned, and then you've got to start CPR, and you're 200 meters away from the patrol, and you've got to begin that because the advanced resus people with the yellow kit from the patrol have not reached you yet. Or it could be like this scenario where there's just an old guy. You're on a roving patrol south of Wanda, and a male's having trouble breathing. All he's doing is sitting down on the sand. Well, we still help him. It's not only the people in the water. So if he's having trouble breathing, it could be that he's got heart problems, and therefore we would request to get the oxygen and the advanced resus person down to help this guy. A few other scenarios are there, but we can't do much about them now. I think we've run out of time, but I've certainly enjoyed the session tonight, and that's why we've gone over. So what Denny's going to do, he's going to tell you a bit about what's coming up, because as I mentioned before, we're going to have a break, and we're all waiting for when the restrictions change so that we can get back in the club and start doing the real face-to-face training, where I'm sure you will start picking up a lot more, where we'll get some radios out and you can actually hold them and maybe have a go. You can use the mannequins for CPR, and we'll see you do your signals. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, but we can't do anything yet. So Denny's going to give you some instructions now about what's going to happen while we're having a break. Thanks, Denny.
I can't hear you.
I haven't said anything.
Oh.
I am so scary.
Very
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break for the next 2 weeks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send out the assessment portfolio for you guys to have a go at. I want you to fill it out in pencil. So what I will do is send it out. It's the theory questions for assessment 1. Oh, no, it's okay. So it's the theory questions for assessment 1. I want you guys to fill it out in pencil. And then 2 weeks' time, we're actually going to have a session. We'll get together and we'll go through the entire thing as a team, and we'll mark the answers out. Okay? So another really good session, guys. Do you have any questions?
I have a question. Isn't there assessments online that we have to do, the theory assessments?
Yes, there is a theory assessment that you have to do online. and then you have to print out the certificate of completion and email that to the office. That was in the instructions last week. I will send those instructions out again this week, Isla. Any other questions? No?
No.
Somebody was going to say something.
I forgot what I was going to say because I got interrupted.
Because you flashed yourself in the face?
Yeah, I was doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a link to that like thing that we have to do for our
I will send out the links and all that tomorrow when I have some time, okay?
Is it called the Surf Rescue Certificate?
It is.
Yeah.
It's called the Surf Rescue
Yeah.
Certificate. Theory.
I
You've
did
done that?
but it didn't save.
Okay. Send me an email or get mum and dad to send me an email and we can have a look into it together.
Okay.
Oh, it's my face.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
I can see people are starting to get a little antsy in their pantsy. So thank you very much for your attention tonight. And I'll see you guys next time in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye boy. Bye bye boy. I just want to see me.